Hey guys, this is Site Savvy, so I am Leah, this is Skylar, and this is Ben. And today we're going to be talking about the premium website services post-launch website management care stuff.
Generally the stuff that you don't think you're going to end up needing.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
I actually laugh.
Yeah, so most of the time people get these brand new websites built for them and they're like, cool, awesome, like let's just move on, go about normal business because it's already set up, it's live, people can visit it, they can learn more about you, right?
Just set it and forget it. You never need to think about a website again, right?
Set it and forget it. That's what you do, right, Sky?
Yeah, no.
You write that paper and it's perfect the first time, you submit it to your teacher and you never look at it again.
Yep.
Never ever need to touch
I don't think
that
that's
website
really
again.
quite how websites work.
So we are here to keep your online presence up to date because that's actually where the magic really happens is after your site is launched.
Yeah.
Because think about it, technology is always changing, your business is always changing and growing, so your online presence should really be matching that. And if it's not, it should be. So that's actually the mindset behind why we started Site Savvy back in 2015. Is because Skylar was designing sites for people and he was doing those one and dones, and you kind of just go through like, all right, here's your website, we're going to go live, collect payment, move on, and he was on to the next 10 other projects, and then he would have people reach out to him months later and they're like, well, can you remove this person and add this person and move these things around, and I want this moved around, and it kind of stunned him. He's like, oh, well,
I wasn't stunned,
sure.
but it was just like we would think that we got the website to the the perfect place, and then once it's subjected to real world traffic, once people actually start using it, my clients would discover, wow, there's a lot that needs to change.
Or there's just ideas that they have how to make more money with their website that they didn't have when you started. So sometimes it's not necessarily bad. Yeah. It's just you have enough experience with it.
Right.
To then be like, oh, this needs to evolve.
The business changes with time, the market changes with the time, and as everything's changing, the website probably needs to get updated more than you would think to reflect those updates, those changes.
Yeah. So that's kind of what our main services are with Site Savvy, where you should think of us as like your dedicated design and management service company, not just that one and done.
Yep.
And sometimes that means that the website itself is good and you need to flesh out your content better. You need to really go into, we need a new brand, because sometimes we can kind of give you a little bit of a brand feel for your website.
Yeah.
But when you get to the level of a business needing your letterhead to be the same, you need your logos to be the same on every business card, when you need all of those, your stuff on the outside of your building to be the same, all those other pieces can really be way more than what we're ever touching with your website. And that's where some of our other services can go into for branding sense. But
here's been a really typical kind of scenario. Client comes to us and says, I have trouble with my old website, I don't have a website, I'm a startup, whatever it is, but I got to get something out there. I need to have my phone number and contact information, basic keywords and services. And so we'll throw up a one-pager or a small website and get it started. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start building out kind of a larger website. And we'll get a lot done, but the client will look at it and say, well, there's a lot of copywriting I could do for services. And maybe we get the other, the about page and the contact page and a summary of services pushed out there before we dive into a landing page for each service. So we have kind of version 2 come out. Then, for some clients it's taken quite a long time to actually pull together all the copywriting for their website, or find a team that's going to work through it with them. Some of them get diverted and realize, wow, I really need to do more of a branding process. And then, later they'll bring in advertisers. They'll be like, well, now let's do some AdWords advertising, or maybe I'm running a phone ad and I'm going to be directing people to a particular landing page. So then we find ourselves working with other marketing or advertising agencies to help pull those pieces into the website. And this whole thing just kind of keeps rolling and evolving over time.
And generally that's all happening after your website's already live. And that's where there's service needed that's nowhere related to what it took to get it live, which we've talked about in a past video. This is about, once it's live, how do you keep fine-tuning that machine? How do you keep dialing it in? How do you take some feedback and make some changes and maybe make a mistake and, we have to go back to what we had before, because sometimes that happens as well too.
But let's be getting exposure and collecting clients for you throughout that process.
Yeah.
Here's what's not happening, right? We're not sitting around for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months waiting for everything to get done and all the ducks in a row and for everything to be perfect before we launch. There's a time and a place. You certainly have to meet certain business thresholds, especially for very large brands or projects. But at the same time, there's huge value into releasing early, getting it out there as early as possible and start getting that real world feedback. Because no amount of planning and strategy can account for all of the real world variables that come into play. So
I think generally that correlates with how long the brand's been around. If you're a new business, there's a lot more forgiveness out there for your website being changed and stuff like that. Now, if you're Nike and you accidentally put up a page that wasn't reviewed yet, that's a big deal. But
we go a lot slower with those big websites, for sure.
But that's where it really comes into. Also, those bigger websites that have been around for a lot longer have a lot more content that they can pull from. When you're starting out, you wrote something and we put it on the website. And then you read it and you're like, oh, I could have said that better. Or sometimes you say it how you talk about it. But then you have a client read it and be like, well, this is what I thought you did. And you're like, well, that is what I do. But it's just a different way of wording the same thing. So
it's a work in progress, and it's a living, growing thing. Like, as your business grows, so does your website, and they really need to match with each other. So that's kind of where we're here, is to help you manage your website to match and grow with your ever-growing business. So as a premium client, every month you're going to receive an email log of all the updates and changes that we make to your site, and that really gets broken down into 4 different types of categories. So 1 is your requests, 2 is maintenance, 3 is marketing insights, and 4 is proactive value. So the first one is your requests. It's pretty self-explanatory. Our main goal is to really make the changes that you need done to your website, and this is usually a lot of back and forth, whether it's through email or Zoom calls or meetings or whatever.
Or we can, if you have Slack, we can integrate your Slack space. I love that one.
It's the things that you say to us, hey, I want to do this, or what do you think about changing this on the website, or I want to add this information. That's the your requests part of this.
And there are times where you're going to want a certain goal accomplished, and usually, or maybe there's a better way to do that, so we do like to bring that up as well. We want you to be as educated as we are about everything. So an example that we've had with some past clients is we've had quite a few organizations that have these registration forms for certain events that they put on. And I had a client that when she started working with me, or actually it was before she even officially signed, she was like, well, can you help me with the system? I need these forms filled out, and I need to, and this is probably 15 different forms.
I think I know which one you're talking about. These were really complicated forms too.
And she's like, I need a notification for every single form, and then what I'm going to do is and you're getting maybe 50 or 100 for each form, and she was manually going to upload them into spreadsheets. And I'm like, hey, there's actually this third party called Zapier, and what they do is they're going to connect your website forms to a Google spreadsheet. So actually, I'm going to automate it for you. And off of that, she's like, all right, I'm signing up simply because of that. So, at the end of the day, there's some things that you just don't know what you don't know, and we really like to educate you, at least from what we know, about those solutions to actually make your life easier. So we really, when it does come to your requests, we want to hear what your overall goal is, not necessarily do this thing, because there might be a better way to accomplish whatever that goal is.
We can help with workflows and automation to a certain extent. It's not.
That's where we really, I think you said 80 plus websites are currently under our belt. Yeah. How many websites have you built, Skylar?
And that's just currently.
300.
Yeah, 300 plus.
Wow.
I think we've touched a lot of websites, and with that came a lot of trial and error. And so a lot of times when you're hiring us now, you're not just hiring us to do the one thing you asked. You're also asking for that advice and that experience that can help you save money on, you're not paying us for all the hours that we did to figure it out the first time. Some other client paid for us this time. This time we figured out that answer in a couple minutes, but how many hours would have taken for you to type it all into a spreadsheet?
Right. Well, and like at this point, we have a pretty well developed process for finding online software solutions, because we just get that question all the time. Someone's like, how do I do X?
Right.
You know, how do I automate connecting my newsletters to my sales funnel, or, you know, dumping those into a mailing list? And it's like, all right, well, let's go see what the best options for that are. So.
And it's not always a third party either. It could just be like, for example, people are way more likely to click on orange buttons than blue buttons on your website.
Yeah.
So
type of stuff.
I usually try to push making your buttons orange or somewhere around
some
that
warm
color.
tone. Yeah.
And I've had clients where I've told them and I've given them articles and they're like, cool, but I still want it to be this color. I'm like, okay, as long as you know, like, we can move forward.
Yeah.
So the next step is maintenance, and this is kind of what you would expect, right? We make sure all of your plugins and stuff are updated on your site. We're testing forms because forms in general just are
the most important part. Like, that's where you get your leads. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like getting those email form completions that are like some person from some weird country that you can't even read the letters because it's not in English? Those are spam bots. Those are not people. They're not really filling out your forms. The more we can work on all of that back end stuff,
we
can limit those.
We comb through your site and make sure your links are working, your images, pages, navigation, because at the end of the day, anything technology is going to break eventually. So that's kind of where we're at.
The laws of entropy still apply, unfortunately.
Yeah. We're here to watch that and manage it before you're even aware it's an issue. So.
And we're setting up automated trackers like Google Search Console to help keep track of all this and make updates as we find problems too.
Right. The third one is marketing insights. So I recently started kind of breaking this all out because I really started realizing that we were doing so much more than just helping people with just their website. So marketing insights, so we really dig into the Google Analytics reports for you, as well as a few other things. There's the GT metrics scores that you can get. You know, we help with your Google Search Console, getting that set up, and we're able to use that to check for any 404 errors on your site. So say you have an old
performance issues too.
Yeah, performance stuff. So if you have any old links that say someone on some other website decided to keep on their website, someone clicks it and there's the big 404, that looks bad on your end. And Google also does not like that. So we really do try to go in and just fix all those things that you wouldn't even know existed.
And like, I don't know, has there ever been a situation where maybe one or two other website agencies managed a website before us, and then we step in and have to fix all kinds of SEO problems, like historically?
That's may or may not have happened.
A few times.
Sometimes they're snobs, but really, like, we try to make it better for you guys, and that's where I think that data that we help set up when we launch your website then comes back into favor. And sometimes that's like, this page is just performing terribly. People come to it and they leave right away.
Did you just call me a snob?
Sometimes you're a snob about website details.
I'm not ashamed of that.
But that's what people pay for.
That's what you're paying for. That experience and that frustration about the metrics that you may not even know this is frustrationable. But it is to us because we build these things all the time, and a lot of times we're having to fix mistakes that we didn't make, and clients don't even realize it's a mistake. And I say that not because a client should know, but there's a lot of people in our business that they slap a sticker up and they make it look okay.
Yeah.
And then that sets your business off on a bad path. And sometimes getting a website out of Google's jail sometimes because they think you don't ever have good content, it's really hard. It takes a long time to reverse that view on a website.
It does.
Or when we take someone's website and they have like 50 plugins on the back end.
Oh,
and
that have never been updated.
They've never been updated. It's slowing their website down. And
Yep.
there's so many risk factors. And
At least one of them is like a high security risk now.
yeah.
It's like,
So we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot on the back end where you don't exactly see everything. And one more thing in the marketing insights section, every month also in your logs, we do include kind of like a tip of the month. And that focus is really to help improve your website traffic. So you can always expect that from us too. It's kind of like some homework that we give you to, hey, this month focus on, say, getting a Google, like reaching out to your clients to get Google reviews, right? Or creating blog posts. That's just
make
like
a backlink
kind of
from Facebook. Yeah.
So, and then the last one is that proactive value. And this is honestly probably the category that we spend the majority of our time on. And this is kind of fun because we're always looking out and we're learning about new ways to add more value by looking into kind of like the latest marketing trends, how to increase website traffic, latest SEO tactics, and really making sure that your website is up to date with the latest requirements, like online privacy policies that every website actually should have.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know that until, you get in trouble for it, right? So we're kind of there to make sure that you have it before you do get in trouble. Like
Sure. Like 2 or 3 years ago, it became really strict. Maybe 5 years ago now, time flies. But it was like, you really have to have a privacy policy in certain jurisdictions, and you really have to conform to GDPR.
Right.
If you don't even know what that is, that's fine. But if your website was highly successful, you could get in trouble for not meeting those things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were proactively going out and finding solutions for them and then helping our clients roll it out. Just make sure that, nothing comes back to bite you.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that we're always looking at. But what's kind of fun about this is I think maybe in the last 6 months or a year, this year, we've been really looking at stuff to help our own brand. And what's fun about that is we can then test it and see if it works or doesn't work. And if it does, then we can share that with you. And now we're talking from experience. Like newsletters, we started doing that.
Or making videos to go with blog posts.
Or podcasts. What? Yeah, so it's been fun. A few other examples, we can actually go through your Google Analytics report and you can see what the most popular pages are. So if there's always a month where maybe you don't have a lot of requests for us, but we're trying to see how we can provide value, we can always look through that and see, okay, these couple pages are really popular. Let's go to that page and really beef it up a little bit or make it a little sparklier.
Test the user experience, make sure
for some of our
really
clients, we'll do like a quarterly review of those, and I always find that really interesting when the client gets surprised by what page got more traffic. Yeah. And it shows that like sometimes they don't even realize what their consumers are wanting, but they're showing you, and we can then use that data to turn it into, we need to flesh out this service, or we need to provide more information about this that this page was talking about because your clients are wanting it.
A couple times they didn't even know they went viral in their community.
Yeah.
But one of their pages just like made it huge. And we're like, oh, that's awesome. That's where all those extra calls came from.
And usually we have recommendations for you too. I know lately I've been learning about that video testimonials are actually the highest form of a testimonial you can have because people can actually see your client talking to them, right? It's not it's not like you just randomly made up a testimonial and you put it on your site. It's like there's no denying that this person had a great interaction with your company. We try to help you and recommend those things to you. And then actually you talked about quarterly meetings. That's also something we do as well, is we really try to do those quarterly meetings with you.
Minimum.
To do strategy calls, like, hey, this is how your website's doing. What are your goals for this next quarter? What do you want to work on? What should we work on?
Just like there's seasonalities of your business, there's probably going to be seasons to what you should push on your website for different times. And I think those quarterly meetups really can help us kind of dial in. What's this focus for this next quarter? What's that focus for you guys? And how can we, in ways, make that more prominent on your website?
I can't come up with a number, but it's a lot of our clients that are just straight up seasonal.
So we shared a few examples of each of those categories. So if you want a much more in-depth list or just a proposal, you can also reach out to us and we can get that specifically designed for you.
That initial consultation is free. We just love to network and meet new businesses and see how we can help.
And I guarantee you we'll probably give you more information than you were expecting.
Yeah.
We generally are very happy to share things, and then we'd be like, oh, maybe we should get you as a client before we gave you all the secrets. But it just shows our genuine, like, we want to help you. So,
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
sounds good, guys. Take care.